welcome. Today it's a very special day. We have here Made in Brazil with us. It's going to be in English, of course, because they have to know what I'm saying. It's not easy for me because it's the first time, so I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to go with Tarek first. Tarek.
Yeah, what's up? My name is Tarek. I just joined Mibr, and I'm happy to be here.
Fallen.
Hello guys, my name is Mibr. I'm Fallen, in-game leader of this beautiful team.
Cold Zero.
Hello, I'm Marcelo. My nickname is conducido, and I just one more for the team.
Fur.
Hello guys, my name is Fernando, my nickname is Fur, and I am entry fragger or playmaker, I don't know. I just play CS.
Oh, we don't know yet.
And then we have Stewie here as well.
What's up guys, I'm Jake, Stewie2K Yip, and I play for Mibr.
And their new addition, Janko, their new coach.
Hey guys, I'm Janko, nickname YNK. I'm the long-standing coach of this team. So yeah, what's up?
So if you want to know more, if you want to ask them something, you have to use the hashtag Zona Esports Mibr. To ask them questions, you have to use it on Twitter, and we can see this program in Spanish television as well. I hope that you like it, and we can go and start with the questions already.
Oops.
Vamos.
Muy buenas a todos. Esta pregunta va directamente para Fallen. Tras tantos años sin contar con un entrenador, ¿qué ha cambiado para que ahora considere necesaria esta incorporación y por qué el elegido ha sido Janko? Muchas gracias.
So basically what he said is,
Why do you bring Janko?
yeah.
My Spanish is awesome. Janko, a guy that we always respected from watching his POVs, like his comments on during the tournaments. And the first time I saw Janko, I think it was 2015 or 16, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was watching a cash game and all the comments I saw him making was going through my head when I was watching the games. And I even tweeted it out because you were new and I said, hey, this guy knows about Counter-Strike. So that was our first interaction with Janko, and we needed someone who we respect and who could bring us a good understanding of the game and kind of put us on the path we want to be. So we thought Janko would be a good addition, and we're excited to try it out. It starts today.
So Janko, what do you like more, commentating or being a coach?
I don't know. I mean, that's why I made the switch, right? I missed competing. I really wanted to go back to competing. So when I got the offer from the team, for me, it was really a no-brainer. I mean, you look at these guys, 5 guys who are major champions, you know, MVPs at majors, won multiple titles. They're a proven and tested team. Sure, the results have been a little bit lacking lately, but I think when you look at these players, I think there was no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't join this team if I didn't think these players could be the best team in the world, or that we could win championships. Again, it's obviously going to require a lot of work, a lot of hard work, dedication, but for me, it was just about, you know, I miss competing, and I know these guys as well. Of course, I admire them and respect them. They're some of the best players in the world. So when I got this opportunity, it was something that just I couldn't pass on.
For sure. So I would say that this team has a lot of potential, but I want to know, how did the Brazilian fans get you?
The Brazilian fans are actually insane. I couldn't believe. I knew I was in Sao Paulo in 2016 working on a tournament, and even then, you know, it was crazy. I was watching Belo Horizonte. I could tell that was a crazy tournament as well. But the amount of messages I got, you know, tweets, DMs, you know, everywhere, people are just like, all the time, like, yeah, coach, we believe in you, this is it, it's happening. And people just not saying, you know, usually people say good luck,
yeah,
and that's it. No, I was getting like, you know, walls of text with like, yeah, we think this is great, like we're so excited about you, we're going to support you guys no matter what. So I know that they are super passionate, that they're super supportive of their team no matter what. So the reception has been crazy, you know, so far for me. And I was just looking forward to, you know, finally getting here with the team so we can start working and so we can, you know, pay back some of that loyalty from the fans with some good results at tournaments.
Yeah, Brazilian fans are crazy. I played there for ESL Pro League, and I remember, oh my god, it's insane. I think they are the best fans in CS:GO.
Loudest for sure, yeah.
Yeah, loudest. So we can go to another question now. In which moment did you choose your style from playing a late game and playing, trying to win the clutch situations to a most fast-paced game?
Did we? I'm kidding. We have been playing with so many players lately and so many different lineups. And it was the way we played Counter-Strike was working greatly for 2016 and 17. And on 2018, we have been trying a lot of different things because the meta is changing a little bit, like the way teams are playing. And we're always trying to improve and trying to bring something new to the table as well. So trying to play fast is something that came to our mind by copying other teams' style. Like, for example, G2 is a team that used to do that with a very good way in the past. And when you bring us persons like Stewie and Tarek, those guys, they're the pug masters. They know how to go fast. They don't care too much about the smokes, the flashes. They just go and show up in the face and do what they have to do. So we're always trying to see if those new styles, they can help us in the long term as well.
Do you think that this new style is hard to adapt? Like, you were really used to how you played before, and now that you're changing things, it seems that you still don't, you're not as good as before, in my opinion.
I think what you were saying, they were playing fast. Brazilian fans are probably going to kill you because they always say we enter sites with 10 seconds.
Okay.
So we try to do both of the things, you know,
Yeah.
and we really need to find a balance to try to dictate the pace of the game and always be unpredictable to the opponents. So it's bad that now you're saying we play too fast and the fans at home are saying we play too slow.
Well,
So
no,
we need to play accordingly.
Not me. It's a
if you tell me, I think it's you, Mixwell, and I'm coming for the next match. I'm kidding.
Okay. Okay, we have a video of Sergio Perola. He's a comment. What I'm doing, he's what he does, and he's asking something from Ecuador, and I want to know what he's asking.
Hola Oscar, hola amigos de Movistar Riders. Bueno, ya veo que me tengo que poner las pilas y volver rápido de Ecuador, apurando estoy las vacaciones, porque si no, mi programa lo vas a presentar tú, que te veo muy bien. Nada, fuera de broma, permíteme que le dirija a Fallen una pregunta directamente em português. Fallen, a torcida brasileira é uma torcida muito implicada com os times completamente brasileiros. Vocês acham que em algum momento vão ter que formar um quinteto, um roster brasileiro? Permíteme esa pregunta, espero que a todos os guste el programa que está montando mi amigo Oscar.
So it was a Portuguese question. I should answer in Portuguese so they don't listen to the answer, right? I'm kidding. What he's asking is if at any point we're going to have to bring 5 Brazilian guys because the Brazilian fans are very passionate and the brand itself. And to be honest, we are very committed to play with Steve and Tarek. I think they made huge commitment to play with us. Like, they had to leave their team. They really put a lot of trust on us. And for now, what I can say is we're very excited to play with this lineup. We want to make this work because we know how much of hard work that they have put to be here. And before we start thinking about other team, we still have to win a major, right? So maybe after next major. I'm kidding, this is just soon. But I don't know, in the future, everything is open, coming back to Brazilian lineup or even removing me and adding another international player. You never know, everything is open and we just have to try to do our best as much as we can.
I'll answer that. No one's going anywhere. No one's coming in, no one's leaving. Like, this is the team for the long term, unless someone, you know, I don't know, loses an arm or something and can't play anymore CS, there's no changes being made to this team.
See? Here's
That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm pretty sure this question will be here. I didn't read all of them, but why did you change from a full Brazilian lineup to an international one?
Fury got this one.
I mean, like, was not my decision. It was like a team decision. And when we were like struggling with like a Brazilian players, we tried to find a Brazilian player, but we didn't have like a good name to fit in the position. So we start like thinking about like international players. And then I have like a good friendship with Stewie. And I was like, dude, we have like Stewie. We try like to get Simple and the guys, and it didn't work like in the end of the day. But we have like a lot of players to find. And then we got like Stewie's name. I was like, oh, let's try Stewie. Maybe we can go like for the international team, like international lineup. And I talked to him, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we start like thinking, okay, so we are going to the international team. So now we have like a lack like of players. And then Terry came, and now you're like international team.
Yeah, it's also because we played with a lot of Brazilian players already, like Taco, FNX, Phelps, Boltz. So almost all the Brazilians correct names we have already played with them. And we needed a player that we trust in their skills, and we knew he was a good player already from the start point. And Stewie was the first one that we really trust on his abilities. And also the Brazilian names that we actually considered bringing up before bringing up Steel, the buyout prices and all those things were kind of unrational, like it would not happen. So we had to go to international roster, and it was very challenging, and it still is very challenging, but we're going to make it work.
I think it's a good idea because, like you said, you have much more players to bring now that you can speak in English and you have more opportunities. And how was it when they contacted you to join?
A little surprising because I always thought they were a Brazilian lineup and they would never change to international. And actually, when he first messaged me, I asked him if it was a joke, if he was serious. And it took me a few minutes to kind of take it in and just consider if I should leave the team or not. And they told me that, well, they kind of shied away from the offer after they talked to me. And for me, it just meant that they already settled with Flamey and Simple. And then something didn't happen. And I had to consider with 3 days. And it was kind of hard for me to tell the team at the same time. But then I just decided to go.
And Tarek, how did you take that he went to SK now made in Brazil?
Well,
talk to my lawyer. No,
what happened?
Talk to my lawyer.
No, it definitely sucked. Because I think that even if we go back and like Stewie stayed on our team, that we would have made it work. Like I think that if we had that same Cloud9 roster, that like we were like slumping a little bit after the major, but we had like maybe like 2 bad placings, and the way we lost in those events, I don't think we played like too bad. I think like our team still had potential, so it was definitely a big hit. But in the moment, we didn't think of it like as too big of a deal. Like we just thought we would get a replacement. But at the time, I sort of decided that I wanted to step away from the IGL role, which is why like we went through getting FNS, and then we kind of went backwards on that, which I kind of blame myself for because I was like, okay, I can IGL again. I think that was the way that we were winning, so let's go back to it. So it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of time wasted, and then we couldn't really get that 5th player for a really long time, which is mainly our own faults because we couldn't like make good decisions, I guess. But at a certain point, I decided that I saw opportunity here, so I ended up with Stewie again.
Oh fuck.
What is the difference between an IGL like Fallen and the ones that you had before?
Well, the thing with I've only played with them for so much, but obviously like I've seen them play for a really long time. Like Fallen is extremely experienced, and he's like been through it all. He's been at the bottom, he's been at the top, and I think that's what sets him aside in the sense that he knows how to react in any situation, and he knows how to like build a team and how to be a leader. And I feel like he has the personality for it. So I think like Fallen is a really good leader for us. And
Ricardo, give this man a raise. Thank you for the words, sorry.
Okay. We can go to another question now.
Please don't be me. Please don't be me.
It's another question for Fallen. I think it's a Polish BP fan. So he said, do you miss these close matches versus Virtus Pro, and do you hope that they will come back to the top?
Actually, playing Virtus Pro was one of the most challenging matches for a very long time, and I really hope they get themselves back in the track. And actually, the first tournament we're going to play with this lineup with Yanko is going to be on Hong Kong, and VP is going to be there, if I'm not wrong, so we can recreate some of those legendary matches again. So let's see. Let's hope we face VP again. It's always great matchups. I'm going to be looking forward for that.
Do you think they will go back to the top?
Well, right now I'm not so sure even about us. What can I say about VP?
You're smart. You're smart. We have another video now. Another video question.
Not from me. Not from me.
Let's see what he says.
This one definitely.
He estado bastante tiempo, un poquito con un nivel tal vez que la gente no se esperaba de vosotros, y ahora habéis fichado tras la salida de Taco a Stewie. Según se ha ido comentando, habéis tenido problemas de comunicación durante este tiempo con él, en la cual os ha perjudicado en algunos partidos. ¿Realmente eso ha sido así? Y si realmente ha sido así, al día de hoy os sigue pasando, o tenéis esos problemas o ya están solucionados, ya todo es más fluido. A su vez también comentar que por qué habéis elegido, en este caso también la incorporación de Tariq también en el equipo, a 2 jugadores de Estados Unidos con habla inglesa en la cual tenéis ese problema tal vez, y por qué no 2 jugadores de la escena brasileña para evitar ese problema. ¿Cómo ves a la escena brasileña? Ya que estoy también, ¿cómo ves a la escena española? Un saludo. Buenas.
Good. I think Cold is going to answer because he
God.
never said anything. So,
Touch my alarm.
do you had any communication problems when Stewie came in, and how did you solve them?
Yeah, so we have problems talking English with the lineup in the beginning. I talk about myself, and when we have boats as well, like me and boats is the players, like we don't talk in English so much. But after Stewie joining, I started to get in classes with Camila, so she teach me a lot. And nowadays, so we speak a lot of English, so getting more easier. So a lot of times playing with inside the team, talking English is not hard. Like my vocabulary getting better, and nowadays for talking English not a problem anymore.
I think also people a bit blow it out of proportion, right? Because you look at these players, they all understand the game really well. Like they have really high game sense. So it's not like you don't need to communicate a lot to them and draw things for them. You do the basic comms and they will understand what's going on on the map. You know, you look back to in 2015 when we still had TeamSpeak, you know, recordings. You look at Fnatic, who was the best team in the world at the time. I haven't seen a team talk less than they did.
Yes.
Like they would talk every 20 seconds. They would say something, you know, and they were beating everyone. So I don't think it's as big of an issue as maybe some people set it out to be. I think it's, you know, it's one thing when you put people like this in an interview and they talk in front of a camera and they're a little bit nervous and stressed. Like when you play and when you practice and when you just play the game, I don't think there's going to be any issues for the team at this point. I think, sure, when Stu initially joined, yeah, there was a little bit of people getting adjusted to
like
it.
training the brain.
Yeah, but by now I think it's
easier.
natural for everyone, and I don't think it's going to be a significant issue for the team.
Yeah, I had a similar experience in G2 talking in French. It was the same stuff. You have to get used to it. You have to think in English. You have to talk faster in English. So I understand what you've been through. And now we have another video from Black Españolito.
Bienvenidos, Made in Brasil, a España. Espero que paséis una muy buena estancia en Madrid y que tengáis muchísima suerte en la Major. Tengo una pregunta para Colsera. Hay una jugada que nunca voy a olvidar. Ese 4K contra Liquid en Mirage. Quiero que me digas tú y alguno de tus compañeros de equipo qué fue lo que dijiste en el TeamSpeak. Ellos sabían la brutalidad de jugada que te habías hecho y tras hacer esa jugada sabíais que ibais a ganar ese mapa porque empezasteis a remontar y os llevasteis ese Mirage. Muchísimas gracias.
Basically, how did you feel after getting that 4K against Liquid?
So on the beginning, we make a pause during the match. I think we are losing 15-9, and I told Taco I'm gonna buy like a IWP without Kevlar. I don't care. So I'm gonna be on the van on top of the little barrel, and I commit the first shot, and I just jump and say, let's see, and works. But it's not something I practice. It's just like lucky. And happened. Like I don't know how to explain. It's really hard. Everyone asked me it, and I don't know how to explain it. But it's like kind of lucky.
Now it's on your arm.
Yeah, now it's in my arm, so it's good.
Yeah, that's legend.
I
It's a
think
good
he
feeling,
also
right?
questioned what he did after, like what he said after the play.
Yeah, well,
I think
Yeah, after the play, I
say, guys, you have no idea what I did.
yeah.
It was kind
After
of
the
a
game, you're gonna see
miracle after the round, you
great
say
highlight,
that.
yeah.
After the round, you say, yeah, you have no idea what I did. We're gonna win this.
And they say, okay.
And then we paused the match, and then I called out a setup on CT that we never did because B was struggling a lot this game. Like we're losing a lot of B. And then I put him on ladder room, and I say, hey, I'm gonna take A by myself. Fair, play ladder room. He never played ladder room, I think. And let's play like that. And then after this game, we kind of created the setup. We call it Liquid because that's how we beat them. So we adjusted and we yeah.
That's insane, actually. Being 15-10 down and doing a setup that you never did before
Yeah,
in
and
such
then
a
we
situation.
came back to the game. Yeah, everything was insane that match.
It is. So we can go to another question now. I think... Creo que con la llegada de Tariq al equipo puede llegar a mejorar tanto como para volver al top 1 y se ¿Se siente un mejor ambiente con Tarek en el equipo? Do you think, guys, that you will go back to the top one in the world? And is it the atmosphere in the team better now with Tarek?
Yeah, I can answer that one a little bit. I think Tarek, I see myself a little bit on Tarek on a way where he's always trying to lead and always being very talkable, talking a lot about the game and really trying to organize the team and really helping in the call inside the game as well. So I think having like a right hand helping me during the match is going to be very useful. And he has a great English, which helps everyone as well during the matches. And so far I'm enjoying a lot playing with Tarek. I think it's the same for Cole and Fer, and still already play with him. So yeah, we just got to find the right sets for him because he's, besides all those things I say, he's a very good player. He can find very important kills. And before Tarek joined the team, I always saw Tarek as a piece of any team who could bring a lot of firepower and get rounds and get kills that some other players can't. So we need this Tarek to play with the team as well.
Yeah, from what I remember of playing with Tarek, he's a good teammate. He does what you tell him to do. And he's also really good under pressure as well. He does these big plays when you really need them. He wants to do it. He takes responsibility. And I think that it's a great pickup for you guys, really. So
give this man a raise too.
Everyone gets raised. Everyone gets raised all around.
We can go to another question.
Bueno, mi pregunta va un poco más enfocada a los mapas y realmente la pregunta es muy sencilla. Si os gusta el cambio del cobblestone, el que lo hayan quitado, haya entrado Dus 2, si os gusta el cambio este, y si en el caso de que no, si preferiríais que volviera cobblestone, me imagino que con cambios, pero si os gustaría que volviera el mapa del castillo.
Do you like that cobblestone got removed for Dust 2? Cold Zero?
Oh God. No, I don't like it because Cabo is a good map for us. Like we play really good Cabo, but this show is a pretty good map as well. But I didn't like the change. So I think probably nowadays Nuke is a map everyone doesn't play too much. So I think they should remove Nuke. But I know it's a new map. But if you see how many maps the team's playing, Nuke is the map they didn't play too much, and no one played too much. So I think this is a good ad, but if they took another map, it would be better.
Stewie, what do you think?
I was a fan of Cobble. I kind of don't like them removing it. I think the map, it kind of takes some skill to play, I think, especially for the CT side. I agree with removing Nuke, but that's because I don't play Nuke. But I also see like potential for us playing in it because I think it's a map that requires for you to think a lot, like on rotations and how to rotate, how to use your nades, and I think it takes high level gameplay to play the map, and I just say remove it.
It's been getting better too, like they're putting a lot of effort on Nuke, so maybe nowadays you'd say, hey, yeah, Nuke, maybe it's a good map, you shouldn't be saying that, but at the time they remove it, Nuke was dog shit. Like now with the recent change they did, I think it's pretty playable, it's better. But at the time it was bad, so if it was my call, I would remove other map. And I'm saying that because we are the best Cabo team in the world as well.
That's a good answer. Another question, video question. Oh, no, it's not a video question. My bad. What do you think you have to improve to go back to the top? Do you have... do you do anything before the games? Like, there's people that wash their hands or whatever every game.
I hope everyone washes their hands.
Oh.
I'll say that much.
You know what I mean.
We need this guy.
No, I think, to come back to the top, it's about having to work really hard. There's so many good teams right now, and the guys have just made the roster change. They only practiced with Tarek before E-League for a couple of days, so there's a lot of things, the groundwork, a lot of it needs to be done. And I think it's just about, with this team, what got the Brazilians to the top 2015, 2016, they were working really hard. Their practice was more efficient than everyone else. With each practice, they would learn something and they would get better each day. While other teams were maybe slacking around a little bit and so on, they were just working all the time. And I think that's the key to success for any team. So I think with me coming in, as a guy who's coming in from the outside, who I don't have any, favorites here or anything like that. I'm just objective. It's down to me to set that sort of environment again, set that atmosphere that, you know, you're not going to get better by sitting around and doing nothing. You have to play, you have to be focused, you have to, you know, work hard and be efficient in practice. And I think that's the key to going back to the top. I don't think there's any magic formula, no ingredients. It's just putting in the work and doing it properly and doing it, you know, as much as you possibly can, and that's pretty much it. I don't know about their rituals though. Like if they have something, there's a couple of weird guys out here, you know, like Tarek wearing socks and flip-flops. I have, like, that's bugging me a lot. You know, I'm not gonna put it as a rule yet, but I don't know.
Maybe next week.
I like to listen to music if I can while I warm up. ESL added Spotify to their warm-up PCs recently, so it's really good addition in my opinion.
Taylor Swift.
What's up?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift, a little bit of Rihanna. So I like to listen to music and also just play aim bots. And I think also like playing like 1v1 aim maps or like 2v2 with your teammates is really good.
You're not telling them you beat me twice, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Overtime.
gonna bring it up, but I think it's good because like you get talking with each other and it's like fun. So both people are having fun, unless of course you lose. But yeah, that's usually what I do.
Can't say I had that much fun, right? He won. We play like World Cup soccer, like 15-15. We went for a golden goal, and he beat me twice on the golden goal. That's how I lost, just to point it out.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. That's the worst way to lose.
Fun though.
Okay, we have a question from Khalid, and says, who plays support in the team? Not everyone can be the star player.
I think for that it's just, you know, we've only just come together. I did meet with the guys, but we had no time to practice. They just went on vacation. So I think that's what we're going to figure out now in the boot camp. I don't think roles are that set as maybe people think, you know, this is the support player, this is the entry fragger. You have guys who are, you know, good at different things, and you want to build your game in a way where everyone's going to be able to do their own thing and be comfortable. You can't do it every single round, can't do it 100% of the time. You know, Counter-Strike is a super dynamic game. You have to be able to do different things in different rounds. Sometimes you're going to have to be the entry fragger, sometimes you'll be the lurker, sometimes you'll be the guy who's being set up by your team and getting a lot of utility, sometimes you're the guy flashing for someone else, you know. And I think with this group of players, people aren't really, you know, burdened or obsessed with it, or like, no, I have to be the guy being set up. Everyone just wants to win. And I think, you know, it's obvious that a guy like Cold is, you know, the best player in the world at closing out rounds. You're not going to see him a lot being the first guy coming in, and the opposite with Fur. You don't have to be, you know, in the team, or you don't have to be an expert at CS to know that. So some of things like that are obviously a bit set. They're a bit obvious. You wouldn't want to do it any other way, but in the end, these are 5 very versatile players that are able to do a lot of things, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest strengths of this team, being able to adjust on the fly and, you know, being able to do different things depending on who you're playing against.
Yeah, I have a theory that like fans think that set roles are really important. Everyone thinks that we have entry fraggers, supports, and they are always doing the same. Yeah. And I don't think that's happening anymore. That happened like in 2014 maybe. I think that everyone has to know what they have to do at any moment, and I think that you guys have that. And I don't think that anyone has to be an entry fragger all the time or a lurker or anything. So yeah, I agree with you.
I think now everyone knows how to do everything. Like some situations is different. For example, if your entry fragger die in the beginning, someone need use his spot. Like I think inside the team, no one have ego to do like just your function. I think everyone know how to do everything. That's why it's pretty good playing with them.
Exactly, I agree. Next question. How to get better at IGLing?
Don't ask Fallen. He was always good. Ask Tarek. He came out of nowhere. We were all like, when we were at S, was like, how is he gonna? Like, he was always just like the fragger and everything. So, Tarek, you answer that.
Well, I would say like one thing that's really important is you have to be able to receive criticism well. Like, take the opinions of your teammates and your coach, and make sure that like you can implement it into the game. And also, you yourself have to want to do it. I don't think it's something you can force yourself to do. So it's something you have to be passionate about. And I think having a leadership personality helps as well, in the sense that like people will listen to you and you have that voice in the team. Apart from that, I would say like you have to be able to come up with your own ideas and improvise on the spot and be able to react when things go wrong. But for me on Cloud9 and briefly when I did it on Optic, I think like my teammates helped me out a lot, and it was also just that it was working, and that made me motivated to keep wanting to do it. And I'll say that it's not easy for sure, but if it's something that you want to do, then it will take time and it won't come naturally at first, but over time it's something that you can work on and get better at.
In other words, you have to lose a lot.
Yeah.
And learn.
This is a question that from me. Do you do a lot of research to other teams and then implement their best things, or you just play and then you
It depends on the time, to be honest. Like if you take, for example, 2015, when we were trying to learn and get better into our own game, we would go for some things Fnatic were doing, and then we just copied it, and then suddenly people would say, hey, this way these guys do it, it's so great. And they were like, hey, they don't know we copied from them. But sometimes we just would get one strategy or one way of playing the game and then make one or two tweaks, and it would get better than what they did. And there was one way of getting new things as well. And the other way is just going to the server and having a good idea on how people are defending sides and stuff like that, and then setting up some way of fighting it or attacking it where you know where they should go, like what are the best plays for that, so you are ready for that.
Good. Let's go for another question now. Another question for Fallen. How do you maintain your positive mentality after losing a lot of rounds? And if you fail at tactic, do you blame yourself?
So for the mentality, if I'm winning 12-0, it's not won yet, right? So I still have to put myself into 16. And I have lost games like that, so I know it's never easy. And if I'm losing hard, I know that with one good round, with one good performance, 1-2 rounds in a row, we can get back to the game, and then things can go our way, mainly when we get the piece on the other half and stuff like that. So I never give up, and I try to give this mentality for the team, because as a leader, it's important. If you give up as a leader, your teammates are going to give up as well. So you really have to believe you can make those comebacks. And I think this was one of our very good aspects of our game in the last years. Like we came back in so many games, because for us, being losing on 14 rounds or 15 rounds or 6 doesn't matter. We want to play the next one the best way we can. And most of the times, you kind of create this energy on the team where people don't give up and they know they can do it, because you start winning like that. So you really have this confidence, not only thinking you can win, but it's knowing that you did in the past. So it's something a team can create, but it takes time and takes some comebacks to get into this level. And the other question was, if I blame myself? Yeah, as a leader, sometimes I blame myself on some decisions, mainly when I don't expect an adjustment from them, and then some crazy play or some aggressive play kind of breaks out the idea I had for that round. But it's the day in life of an in-game leader. You're gonna take some risks, and some are gonna be good, and some aren't. And I dropped it.
Have you ever lost your confidence, like losing a really important match that you got eliminated or something, and then you were like doubting yourself?
I think this year has been a rough for me, because I haven't been able to figure out things and the way we should play to win the games as I did in the last years. But it's just a phase, I think. Like I didn't lose completely my confidence. I just, when I let conducido lead the team and stuff like that, I just wanted to see if another way of thinking, another way of calling would help us. And somehow it helped us a little bit. But at the long run, we just prefer to go back to my style, and just because there's other aspects on leading that could hurt a player and something like that, the way they're playing, and we really need conducido to be playing at his best for us to have our best performance. So it's a little bit of both, mix of those things.
It's good to know that you are human, after all.
Yeah. I wish I was not.
Right. We have another question that says, what are your, what do you think is going to happen at the major? What are your
expectations?
We're taking it home.
Taking it home, baby.
Every tournament, with these 5 players, every tournament you attend, it's a tournament you expect to win, because I don't think anything else is, acceptable, or that whatever it is, like Hong Kong is in 7 days, it doesn't matter like how much time you had to prepare. Like every team with these 5 players, you can win the whole thing. It's just about getting everyone on the same page and getting the right attitude and like putting in the good work. So for the major, I think everything besides winning the major would be a disappointment for everyone who's a part of this team.
I think that the international scene is in a weird moment. I don't know if you guys think the same. I think that Astralis is above everyone else at the moment. I don't know if you do you think that?
For sure, for sure.
Why?
Why? Because I think that Yanko was saying it a little bit before. I heard him. Like, they pay attention to a lot of the small details that a lot of teams don't have right now. And also, I think they work a lot harder than other teams, more efficiently. And it's kind of like, it shouldn't be a thing where they work harder. Everyone should be able to work as hard as them. So that's kind of what we're hoping to do on this team. But they're like, they're beatable. I think like anyone is beatable in the scene. I don't think like it's impossible, but we'll get there.
So what you're saying is that Astralis is better because they work harder than the others?
I think it's a part of it for sure.
That's worrying.
Huh?
That's worrying. That's worrying.
Yeah.
That's worrying.
But it's something you shouldn't even talk. I got this question as well recently, and it's ludicrous that you're talking about one team working harder than the other teams, right? Everyone should be working equally hard, and then you wonder how good would all of these teams play. I think they were also helped a little bit to the fact that other tier 1 teams at the time were all falling down at the same time. Navi had their own issues, FaZe lost Olaf. These guys, also were making roster changes and were in a slump of their own. So it wasn't that all of these teams were at 100%. I mean, we had a time earlier this year where we were talking about, can Mousesports make it all the way to tier 1 in the first quarter of the year? So I think now you see all of these teams finding their groove back. Navi is really good. FaZe got all of back. Now we have a proper roster, a full lineup and everything. So I think the second part of the season is going to be much more competitive. I think it's going to be much more difficult for Astralis to continue their run that they've had so far, which has been a really impressive run.
Now that you mentioned it, what do you think about Mousesports changing Stico when they were so good and bringing in Snacks?
I think in the long run, when you look at it, the big question mark was, can Snacks be as good of a player as he was a year and a half ago in VP? Because the way he has been playing the last year, it's arguable that he's a massive upgrade over Stico. But if he can do that long term, I think it's an upgrade. The problem was, I don't think it was necessary for Mousesports to replace Stico at all. I think that they were burnt out. They were playing more tournaments than anyone else. They were never home. They were always either playing officials or traveling in 2 days to the other side of the world, and it's impossible. Like, how do you expect, you play a tournament, you come back, you play online leagues for 3 days, you travel again, where are you going to change things and improve for the next tournament you're going to attend? So eventually, teams caught up with them on Mirage, on Nuke. They were 2 of their strongest maps, and instead of taking it easy and like just resetting and everything, they went for the roster change. So time will tell how they're going to play in the future. Snacks seems to have been, figuring it out, and he has to get used to talking in English. So it's probably going to end up in the long term being like a net positive for the team. But whether it was necessary or not, I don't think really it was that necessary for them. I think they had a good unit and good distribution of everything within the team.
What are your expectations from Istanbul? I guess it's Blast, or
yeah, Blast.
What are your expectations for Blast?
I think in terms of how we do, I mean, we want to win it for sure. I mean, every event we go to, we want to win. But in terms of the city that we're playing in and the crowd, I think it's going to be like a very unique experience for us. There has never been a Counter-Strike event like this to this size in Turkey, and there's going to be, in my opinion, a lot of fans. And I think the Turkish fans will be comparable to the Brazilian fans in the sense that they'll be very loud and very supportive of the teams. I think it'll be a huge success, and I'm really looking forward to it.
It would be good to somehow avoid playing Space Soldiers in that arena.
Well, I think the fans are honestly looking forward to seeing all these players because they don't get to see us. We haven't been there before. Same with the other teams, but Space Soldiers they see more often. So I think they're going to be supporting hopefully all the teams, and maybe Space Soldiers will have that home advantage.
Want me to try my Turkish?
Do it.
Mihabana Sesona Kalashlat.
Perfect. You still got it.
We're gonna be ready for Turkey.
I can do anything.
Okay, we can go to another question, and says, did you decide to change and get American players after Cloud9 won the major or before? Did you... exactly what I meant. They are both the same question.
I think we started thinking about changing player after we lost on the WSG. That win was our lowest point with the team with Taco. And that was mainly inside and outside the game. Like, we really felt we needed a change. And those things are difficult to comment. Even now that the results were not the results expected, you can say, hey, there was a mistake. But at the moment, everyone felt there was the right thing. And of course, we could have made it work differently wise. But at the moment, I think, even for Taco, it was a good decision for both parts, you know, like to try something else. But no, it wasn't related to the major win from Cloud9. Like, changing players was more related to our situation.
I'm sure it helped, though.
It helped.
Sure, it helped
getting it, but it... Yeah, you were looking for international players. You asked European players as well, so it wasn't because of the major. It was just because they were good.
Yeah, I think like the bringing up Steel, and I think the major kind of gave them a medal into the name, I would say. But it wasn't a big factor like for us. Even if they lost the major, we could still come up with Steel. He's still a great player. Even if they lost that finals, for example, that was a very close game.
Yeah. Stewie.
What's up?
We didn't talk too much today. Next question is going to be for you.
Next one is on you too.
Give him a spicy one.
Oh shit, this is perfect.
Which team? Which teammate talks the most trash during officials?
On my old team on Cloud9?
No.
Well, I was saying
both.
Yeah, I was saying on Cloud9 it would be me and Tarek. I'd say we were probably the loudest ones. We didn't care if the other team, we just don't cross the line, you know. But we still try to talk as much trash as possible. But on this team, they're pretty quiet. No one wants to really wants to talk trash. I know Cole does from time to time when he has a really hyped round. But I try not to do as much because they're so quiet and they're so focused on the game that I feel like it would be kind of awkward if I just stood up and yelled by myself.
We're working on that. We're working on the hype.
Me and Tarek are back.
That's not the real values of this team, dude. We talk a lot of trash.
Bro, give it to me, bro.
We gotta bring it back. We're gonna bring.
Don't peek me, bro.
Don't peek. You gotta teach us some serving.
Yeah, for sure. I think
And,
also
yeah.
the problem, you know, talk trash, you kind of need to back it up. So
Yeah, we can't back it up.
wasn't
Yeah,
the
right now
ideal
we're not backing
period to talk
anything
trash.
else. So we can't be talking.
That's why we're so quiet lately.
Yeah, that's why we're maybe a bit more quiet, but there's gonna be some trash talking for sure.
They say that the fur is awake or not because he didn't talk too much on the Twitch chat. So next question is going to be for him.
It's a jet lag.
Kind of good one.
Oh, you can read that, Stewie?
Oh shit. Don't read that.
Bitch, everyone during the boot camp, or do you guys, the whole team, like the...
That was supposed to be hot.
Yeah,
Hot.
We hot. We hot.
I don't know.
It's
Like the we hot welcome of Spain.
Yeah, do you like Spain or no, guys? Do you like
Spain's
Spain
nice.
fair?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the second time here, and the first time was really good. And I mean, like, when they say, like, guys, we're gonna have a lot of boot camp there because they have like good facility and like Movistar is good for us. And I was like, good. I mean, like, Spain was really good and the facility is good. And I don't like to like go out. Like, I mean, like, I don't go to the clubs and whatever. So I don't know the city like really well.
We don't like to.
But
We don't
what?
like to.
We don't like to.
They don't like to.
They don't like it too.
We can talk for all.
I mean, like, we don't like to go to the clubs and we don't like to party. Sorry, so we don't like to party at all. So I don't know the city, but I'm looking forward like to go to the place.
We're gonna watch Real Madrid game in 1 week.
Oh yeah, you're talking with Casemiro.
Casemiro invited
So
us.
Casemiro, the Real Madrid player, he's like invited us to watch the game. So
He might come
we're
play
looking forward
CS with
to
us
go.
too.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, Spain is really nice so far, but we haven't a lot. It's my first time here, but so far it's pretty nice. The mall is sick.
I told you to come 100 times. You never came.
Well, no comment.
Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
Well, we can go to another question then.
Soy arquitecto y la pregunta que tengo es ¿qué os aporta de extra el MEC en relación a lo que sería una bootcamp clásica en una casa adaptada? Y por otro lado preguntaros sobre cuál es vuestra opinión sobre dotar a los eSports de espacios específicos tanto para el entreno al alto nivel, al más alto nivel como para el disfrute de los espectadores.
Well, basically, he said, what are the difference of a normal bootcamp, like in a room and that's it, and the Movistar Esports Center? And do you think that, what do you think about having this kind of places to train instead of like the usual stuff?
Getting everyone together is always helpful because it's easier to talk about problems, talk about strategies, have everyone on the same page. And about facility-wise, I would say, let's say we choose a home here, we pick up a house, Airbnb, we hope for a good internet, hope for good PCs, and then we never know how it's going to be. So that's where I think coming to a place like Movistar, where they provide you the best internet, the best PCs, is always helpful. And the mainly difference from playing at home is this connection you can create while being together. So for us that we just came from vacation, it totally makes sense for us to always be together and have this environment.
And I know that there's more places like this. Why did you choose this one?
Because we could be interviewed by you. Said he wasn't a girl.
Okay, we can go to the next question now. What do you think about the new roster of Movistar riders?
Pretty cool. You and Lowell together, that's like the Spanish drain.
That's like
Ooh, that's a cool clip.
Distance a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, kinda. I think it's ballsy from your part because you could have, obviously, if you wanted, you could have, gone to another international team.
Maybe Mibr playing here.
I'm sure you had offers, but deciding to go with a Spanish roster like fully, like obviously, people know about you, they know about Lowell internationally, but some of these other guys, they're maybe not sure, so obviously you wouldn't join the team if you didn't have the confidence they were good enough to compete. And I saw that you guys qualified for the MSI thing. Yeah, so I think it's like great to have more regions come up with their own teams, right? Obviously, like Spain is like a massive country. There's a lot of people here who do esports. As far as I know, like League is a bit more popular probably than CS, but I mean, that's almost anywhere. So I think it's great because, you give an example to some of the young kids out there playing CS and thinking like, but we don't have a CS team, or, how good is CS, and then everyone's getting hyped. You look at Brazil now, I mean, you have these guys, you have their
so many
Tempo
other teams
Storm,
right now,
Luminosity. There's like so many different
after we
teams.
developed, so many more teams had a
because
bigger
they see
chance,
like
yeah.
it's possible. Like,
the question is, do Movistars have a Fer and a Codezera? One to rush, the other one to clutch?
Well, we will see. We will see. I don't know if
What?
I'm asking if they have a Fer and Codezera, Spanish Fer and Spanish Codezera. Who's rushing on Movistars?
who's rushing.
Yeah.
Soccer is rushing.
Okay, I'll pay attention.
We can't say that we have a cold zero or a Fer. We have to train hard and
no one can.
Yeah, no one can say that. If I say that, I'm a retard.
I can say
there are some budgets here and there.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I won't say names.
We'll have to prove ourselves, and I know that it might be a risk decision for me, like you said, but I really want to do it, and I believe in our team 100%, and we will be there. We'll be there. Yeah, we can go to another question. What needs to be done in Spain in order to have so many and so passionate Counter-Strike crowd as you have in Brazil? Fair?
Fallen?
Well, I think it's.
So have to start with the team, right?
It always starts with the first team, I would say. Like, if someone can really get the attention where people has a reason to really watch the game, because kind of a patriotic reason to watch the games and follow more into the games, I think it helps a lot. So Mixwell and the guys from Movistar doing well, I think it definitely is going to help them. And we had other teams in Spain in the past, like mainly Counter-Strike 1.6, but I think they also never achieved a VP status where the entire country would follow them and stuff like that. So I think a very good team having good performance and those attentions that the media comes in and all those things, they kind of help create those heroes image that kind of grows the game as well.
Yeah, I think we lacked that for a long time, and I think that you guys did it for Brazil for sure. And you have a lot of fans here in Spain because you did it that way, in the hard way. And we look up to you a lot in Spain. Everyone looks up to you more than any other team. So you have a lot of fans here. Let's go to another question.
Te quiero España, ¿sí?
Do you follow the Spanish scene? Do you think that they can grow?
We definitely think that the Spanish teams can grow, and of course it's hard to really follow all the Spanish teams because so far there isn't been many Spanish teams at the top tier competitions. But I think I have a good feeling with the new Mixwell team. I'm going to be looking forward. We're also going to practice against them a little bit, I think. So those guys, they are the Spanish dream.
Okay, you will have to say one thing about the Spanish scene each. Let's see if you know something. Okay?
Oh, that's a hard one. About this Spanish team?
Yeah, you like one thing.
Anyone?
Like one.
Some names
Yes.
that I know.
For example.
I will give you only one, so I leave some for them, okay? Musambani.
Dude, come on. That was
That's
mine.
the one you got?
That was mine, bro.
Can I get another one? No.
That's good.
Okay, Musambani, great 1.6
Musambani.
player. Very famous. I always check HLTV and saw his name in the past.
So actually, I don't follow like CS:GO scene at all. But I have like a name like Shiros or Chiros. I'm like when I start playing, I was like watching on YouTube like highlights, and then like just became like Shiros highlight, and it was like one tap machine, and like in the like 5 years ago or something, I was like, dude, this guy, I think like he was like the best player in the world. But
He was the most skilled
oh
Spanish
really?
player.
I mean like I was like a new player, and I didn't know like the
Say he was the screen, no, the Spanish screen. He was better than screen on tapping.
Yeah, I was like, dude, this guy is really good. I want to be this guy.
Yeah, it's a shame that he didn't
I
play
started like
CS:GO.
watching a lot of highlights from this guy, but I didn't know this guy actually.
That's
Where is he right now?
I don't know. He
You don't know
doesn't
either?
play CS anymore. He never tried CS:GO, so it's a shame that we lost him.
Yeah, for me, I kind of play, you know, when I was initially playing, like that's when a lot of Spanish players have been playing. I mean, the guys like soccer, they also play there, Aguila, you know, those guys. I think it's, I think the problem back then was that people were changing too much. Like every time, you know, you would see the same names, but, you know, two guys would be now on this team and now on the other team. So, yeah, I think it always takes someone to lead the way, like you playing internationally, but now, you know, you've been at, you know, tier 1 CS, and now you can teach these other guys and you have their respect and authority. They're going to listen to you because you've made it. And I think that's like super important because the talent is definitely there. People just need to, you know, get committed to working hard and being disciplined. I think that's maybe a bit of a problem, or was the problem with the Spanish
It was
scene.
for sure. It was. Stewie?
To be honest, I don't follow the scene too much, so I don't know the players. I don't really follow the CS scene in general, but I watch
You
from
follow
time to
League?
time. Like I watch the big
They follow the
No.
basketball scene.
League, no.
Follow the basketball scene.
Fortnite scene.
Fortnite, no.
He's a big Ninja fan.
Only
I don't even watch
basketball.
PUBG. I don't watch
Do
any
you
games.
know anything about Spain? Like any player from anything, YouTuber?
Start with him, bro.
Mixwell, bro.
Start with him,
Mixwell's the
bro.
only guy. Yeah, that's the only guy I know.
It's me.
Actually,
When I think Spain, I think Mixwell.
no, actually.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
I'm the same page. I'm the same page.
Oh, that's sad.
I just know you and lower. Yeah,
Okay.
is it?
Me and Lowell.
Well, yeah, like I would say that. Well, I'm going to say that I have a lot of respect for you guys, like especially you and Lowell, because you guys have like a big opportunity to play on other tier 1 teams potentially. But you guys decided to take a risk and do this Movistar thing, which I want to say their facility here is really sick. Have you guys done a tour, like a video of the facility?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so like maybe people out there haven't seen it, but the inside is like really well made. I don't think I've ever been to a facility that I can compare this to. And but it's also like, I think from your perspective, you get to play with a Spanish team and it's sort of like your nation and you get to represent it. I think that like in the future, if I ever got the chance to, actually Yanko said I can't leave, but playing for like a full Turkish team would be like kind of sick too. But
But you can't leave now, right?
Yeah, a couple of years from now.
Maybe made in Turkey, which changes to made in Turkey.
Well, we can go to another question. It's good that you know something about Spain at least. ¿Habéis pensado hacer una academia en Brasil? Well, I think that you Games Academy. What do you?
The academy people sees like the way people normally do outside the world, like teams that have a smaller team that they're
Okay.
trying to
Might
prospect
be that,
talent.
yes.
We didn't do that yet, like for Mibr or even for SK or LG, we never tried that. But in Brazil, we have Gamers Club and Games Academy, which Gamers Club is kind of the service like Faceit and ESA, and Games Academy was the project that took me from 2011 to 2015, teaching people how to play the game. And at the time, I would go to the server. I would spend like 6 hours a day with different people, teaching them about the game, helping them get into teams, sometimes in casting tournaments. But then the project shifted a little bit when I moved to US. Now there are different people running it, like other teachers and stuff like that. And it was quite cool that last month they opened what would be the old Games Academy version. So nowadays, it's called Rush Games Academy. It's like 7 weeks of course where people can really have the same kind of classes they had with me in the past, but with other teachers. So in Brazil, we kind of have those projects that helps people getting better into the game and try to put them on a higher level faster.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think we miss that here as well. Well, I think that it's only in Brazil.
It's only in Brazil, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
this way of teaching people, I think it's only in Games Academy.
It's like a class, and there's like multiple students and one teacher.
Yeah, so now the way they're running is 7 weeks program.
And you sign up for the program. And
yeah, I think the program is something around $30, and they stay 7 weeks, and it's 3 hours a day course. And if you miss
every day,
yeah, every day.
It's like class,
go
like
to
school.
7 maps. Yeah, it's like a school, and
you'd fail.
If you miss one class, you can watch the videos and stuff like that.
I see. Is there homework? Homework?
What do you mean homework?
It's mocks.
Yeah, lessons.
You have to like.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And
One thing that when I was doing those classes for many years, the improvement is you can really notice the improvement, like because you put people to recreate like an environment, like hey, let's try this execution, and then with one word, all the players on the server will know which execution it is, which moves you need to throw, and how the things flow. So when they go for their smaller tournaments and they're running those things, of course it's better. You know that Counter-Strike on a lower level, if you do a little bit of organization, like a little bit of stuff, you are way ahead of your position already. So you can really see the players improving. And it's actually interesting that nowadays, I see a lot of names coming up in the CSGO scene that I met in 2012 on LAN stations because they're going to encounter me for classes.
For example, Cacerato.
Cacerato, who is playing for
Furia
right now, is a very good talent from Brazil. You have Showtime, who was playing for LG. You have Duken, who was playing a little bit as well. All those guys, I kind of met them.
I mean, even Cole like took a picture with you at that WCG.
Yeah, but Cole was just
you know,
a fan. Cole missed the class. Just a fan. He missed the class.
Unlucky
for the project. He missed the class.
I have a live class.
Yeah, whatever he was doing,
that's true.
Other than the class, it seems to have worked. So he's pretty good right now.
Yeah, he learned fast.
Okay. Well, we've been here for an hour. It's been very interesting. Thank you guys for coming. Do you want to say something to the fans, Spanish fans? Everyone?
I just want to say, like, thanks for having us here at the facility, and like, it's gonna be great. Like, we have everything we need to practice and to boot camp, and you know, to all the Spanish fans, you said like there's a lot of MIBR fans here in Spain. I just want to say thanks for supporting the team and everything, and that like, you know, we're just here to do our best and get MIBR back on track.
Te quiero, España. Sí, vamos.
Okay, thanks for watching and being here. It's been a pleasure, and I don't think I'm going to do this again.
Never say never, Mixwell. Never say never.
Never, but that's not my thing. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.
The final bomb. Nice.